Ona nanga da nyambu sinjen tamchen nangchen lana meba yangda bazu sanje je kong waran borche la chune jongyo baza tewe chibda tambu chimda nyi tsegende sende tawnyan se ji baza wanya samba zangju juda doji baran borche salda de sembra she tela kong semba cha me chume. Wow, am I dreaming? It's so beautiful. I remember, a few years ago, I was here, not here, but different place, and it's just so amazing. And I had this maybe more than 1 hour tour about the building today. I was so curious about every door. What do you have here? Where's this? What this for? And Kim and Lamakathy and Tracy, they took me this beautiful tour, and I saw pictures, posts, videos, but it's nothing to compare when you are in person, like, wow. But at the same time, I was a little bit emotional because I kind of, when we went through the other door, the wheelchair access, I was kind of visualizing that I was kind of pushing my late teacher, Kembrumbuche's wheelchair, and coming together. This is something Rinpoche mentioned before, that one day the center will be built and there will be ceremony. And he really never mentioned he will go on a wheelchair, but that's something I kind of visualized. And before I start my talk, I would like everyone to generate bodhicitta, and thinking that we are doing this teaching for the benefit of all sentient beings to achieve enlightenment, and therefore we starting from today and for whole weekend activities is for all sentient beings. My name is Lama Kama, and I was born in Tibet with 10 siblings. My mom gave birth to 10 children, and I'm the best. In my head. Yeah. And yeah, we had fear. I mean, like 5 boys and 5 girls. And I saw her, the last time I saw her was 2015. And, you know, her last word was like, oh, I'm very proud of you. You're following Dharma and you speak English and so you are benefiting some beings. And I still recall those words, in my ears. But tonight, I thought I would a little bit talk about some meditation aspect because our weekend teaching topic is a big deal. I mean, it's a everyday wisdom. I don't know why I choose this very fascinating topics, right? So I have to live up to it. Sometimes it's a nerve breaking, but it's all about motivation. And I recall when I finished my second retreat, and I was sent to be with Khenpo Rinpoche all the time, serve tea, my teacher, my uncle, all those activities. And so once I finished my second retreat, he said, no, you just don't be with me. I'm good. I never had attendance before. All I care about is the centers, and you have to travel. So 2008 to 2018, 10 years, I traveled to the centers, and it was hard because I have to kind of learn about the culture, the concept. And so every time I come back, I kind of report to Khenpo Rinpoche. He always kind of excited, okay, what's going on, what's up? And then I tell him every details. And I sometimes a little bit feel, worried that he might get upset, because sometimes when you go to different centers and you may have like 4 or 5 people for teaching, and I feel a little bit bad that I not benefiting much, and maybe one person check refuge. And Rinpoche never, he always smiles. Oh, that's good. He always have this smile, and he always encourage me. And then one time, I was sharing with Lama Adam. One time I went to Latin America, Latin countries like Venezuela, and I had like 80 people taking refuge. I was like, wow, who am I? It's big. I know. It's a kind of superstar or something. I was like, wow, oh, okay, bueno, And I came back. I was very excited to report that to him. And I just told him, I can't believe. I was like, wow. Rinpoche, there are 80 people took refuge. And he didn't say anything, but he gave me a look. That's all matters. He gave me a look like, oh, what's that? And then he said, how was your arrogance? And he kind of, got me there. And so, yeah, then, a lot of things happened, and I'm a father, and my life changed, and I gave a lot of teaching during the pandemic. But this is the first time being in person, and I closely follow Columbus KTC podcast, and Lama Kathy's teaching, Lama Tom's teaching, Lama Adam's teaching, Eric, Kathy Lamo, and it's very fascinating. I was like, oh, what am I doing here? These are very good teachers, presenting Dharma. So when I, on Thursday, when I left from my house and drove to the airport, and as Lama Yu expressed, we always meet different people, and when I flew from Albany airport to Detroit, and there was one lady, and she's really, really nice. And she was, we talked a lot, and so she has 5 children, and one of them went to Army and Afghanistan, and came back with a lot of anxieties, and so she said that he actually went to many therapists, and one of the method that he really benefited his back to normal life was a breathing exercise. It was simply whenever there's a panic attack, you just simply go back to breathing, and because generally, this to me, I'm not sure you have that kind of challenges. When I have a lot of anxieties, I kind of noticed that I kind of supports it unknowingly. Just you have a little feeling of anxiety or stress, and then you feel that kind of hopeless and helpless. You kind of go forward rather than wait a minute. When you talk about breathing exercise, you're simply using your own resources, which is a beautiful method, that is breath, breathing out and breathing in, because there's a great teaching about, a lot of teaching about the inseparability of breathing and your mind. As we all know that sometimes we have a lot of anxiety and get angry or something, and our breath becomes pretty short. Maybe I'm having that right now. I'm just joking. But so this is something I myself, I have a lot of, I'm kind of emotional person, and I have a lot of anxieties, but especially when your day begin, right? And I normally share with others like how your day begin, and they say sometimes like when you wake up and naturally have some kind of depression, or you have like something to worry about, and that comes first. The first list comes in mind is something to worry about, which is can be very minor. It can be oh, I have to get up and make coffee or something. I mean, it's supposed to be enjoyable, but and once again, a topic with the breathing is that the first time when you get up in the morning, wake up, and you basically contemplate that I'm still able to breathe. I'm still able to talk. I'm still able to hear. I mean, so many beautiful things with us within this life. I know there are a lot of things going on, but also we have these natural resources that we cannot ignore, which the breathing is one of them. It's like I'm so happy that I'm still alive and I'm still breathing. And it is very important. You don't want to begin without some calmness or some positivities arise in your mind, because as I mentioned, I'm a natural, what's the word, hyper person. and you kind of wake up and then you feel sense of insecurity or something to worry about. And it doesn't mean that I could do it every day, but I just I wake up and then you sit up, or if you don't sit up, you still lay down, but you really think about this, not just a concept, but put it into your practice. I'm still breathing, I'm still able to talk, I'm still able to, hear, and all these resources. And believe or not, or you better believe, is that, if you, because everything is impatient for us, right? And we just, keep going. But sometimes we don't think about the quality of the life. It's not about like how much you've done today. It's not about, how fast you can catch up, trying to catch up all these electronic things and all the phone calls, but it's about how you live moment by moment. So even if you have like 5 minutes, it can be hard, but it pays the price. If you 5 minutes until you have some calmness, or you have a sense of really a gratitude or appreciation about what you already have. And mental effort is very powerful. And so once your day begin like that, and it remains, because you put a conscious effort, so it remains throughout the day. Maybe I wouldn't say throughout the day. At the beginning, maybe once you get out of your bed, it may forget, but you can remind again and again. And last night I was walking with Kim and Bill, and I was talking about not just to walk, right? Once again, your your posture, right? When you walk, sometimes like we want to exercise, walk, but sometimes we kind of walk mindlessly. And there are some postures, like when you walk, relaxedly, there's no such adverb, relaxedly. No, yeah. I wish there's one. But what I noticed is that you keep your central spine straight. You walk, and instead of like a kind of walking slouch, where the shoulders down, excuse me, it helps tremendously, and immediate kind of help. Where I live, there's a Shambhala center, and I sometimes join the Sunday walking meditation. And so they walk around little pond, and they have a special hand posture. But main thing is that I noticed that everybody really keeping this spine straight, and which affects your blood movement, especially in Buddhism. We talk about channels. Channels can be straightened. So breathing exercise is extremely important, and it is used in a shamatha meditation. I know you have teachings from lamas. I can't add much, but the beauty of the meditation is that we call shamatha, in Sanskrit. And shama means calmness or peaceful, and then tha means abide. Even you are very stressed, like at times you feel a lot of anxiety, but that stability of your, this weekend I will talk about the goodness, right? Basic goodness, which means while you are stressed, instead of like once again going forward, you just a little bit of, check your your mind, even though it's stressed, you have a lot of thoughts, but there's the other part is of your mind is very still. It's like very quiet, you know, your we call nature of mind. You have, maybe have some stress going on or depressed going on, but at the same time, there's something that is not, indestructible. And because the moment you're labeled, and the reason why we're suffering is that because we fix it on something that is you cannot fix it. It's like you're trying to grab the space. You're trying to grab space. How much you're trying to grab it, there's no way you can grab it because the space in nature is uh, what's it, beyond grab, beyond fixation. So when your thought arise, and sometimes we just fix it that you're trying to, clinging on it. So that's the problem because there's nothing to cling. Its nature is, beyond, fixation. So shama naturally means calm. And regardless of you are a calm person or not, your nature, your being, your basic nature, your organic mind is always calm, beyond expression and beyond apprehension. And so that is your real nature, which means sometimes we go beyond the reality. That's how we begin to experience a lot of suffering. So shama means peaceful or calmness. And then ta means abide. So you basically, whether you are using breathing exercise or whether you are using object like Buddha's image or whatever you are using, you basically go back to your basic, because we go beyond basic, we go beyond reality. That's why we experience a lot of stress. And sometimes like meditation is actually, I know a lot of people feel that it's very hard, the meditation, like empty your thoughts and you try to be calm. It's very hard, extremely hard. But why it's so hard is simply because we create that, how do you say, we create that it feels like very hard. And I was talking with Lama Adam and Paul that, when there's something like you're hard, no, it's not hard because you think it's very hard, then it becomes very hard. But the actual meditation is moment by moment. History doesn't really affect your meditation. For example, like you have been very, you are very stressed in the past, or like your momentarily you had a lot of anxiety, but that doesn't really affect who you are, the presence of your mind, the nature. It's like water. Water has a contamination and sometimes like a lot of all those things going on, but water's nature never been affected. So the nature is, they call basic goodness. And so shamatha meditation is, extremely important, especially using like, following your breath. And when Kimbram Rinpoche, one time you had an interview with someone, and sometimes he used the physical gesture, And someone said, oh, you know, meditation is very hard. Calmness is very hard. And then Rinpoche kind of gazing, looking into his or her eyes. I don't remember the person exactly. He said, no, it's not hard because you think it's hard. That's how you kind of walk away from the actual nature. So you just be in very, this very moment, just be this very presence. Because this very presence, this very moment does not interfere by past or future. And this very moment is, your actual nature. It's like space. So shamatha, calm abiding meditation is something to apply, every day, especially in the morning, as I mentioned about, breathing exercise. And one of the effective breathing exercise meditation is that sometimes we apply in the retreat is that, when you wake up in the morning, you just put a conscious effort that, I'm still breathing, I'm still alive, very happy. And then you cleansing, you kind of breathing, cleansing 3 times. Because according to teaching that, whatever you experienced, like a distraction can be emptied, like you, exhale 3 times. And hand gesture, you kind of hold like this on your knees, and then you breathing out like this. You kind of hear that sound. It's a kind of really cleansing deep down from your lung. And I would like you to follow me, just like we did. Your hands on your knees. You can either open your eye or closing your eyes. Now you breathe in. Breathing out. Breathe in. Breathing out. Breathe in. Breathing out. Now you rest in that state. this is something that doesn't require any financial effort. This is something you have all the time. And so, breathing exercise. And then the second, I wouldn't say second, third, but another method is acceptance. When you begin to experience thoughts or anxieties, and you, instead of trying to block it, wishing to get rid of, you simply accept. Because when you accept it and they are not aggressive as when you're trying to reject. Overall, I'm also like yourself, married or family person. Life is all about accept. Of course, we want to shape certain ways, but sometimes nature takes over. So you can't plan everything. You can't, do everything what you wish. But sometimes, things happen. You accept. Likewise, meditation, you simply accept. It's very subtle. If you all of a sudden you panic attack. I think we all have some kind of degree of panic attack. And that's an opportunity to accept, instead of once again, I want to really, I don't like these feelings. Earlier, when I went, went to your room and reading your book, it's written by Kamachami Rinpoche. I know it's very depth teaching. Something says that these thoughts, when they arise, I also mentioned Lama, there's a Njanga Rinpoche's song mentioned that when your thought arise, ultimately they are not arisen. They are naturally liberated in their nature. So anxiety, something panic or something aggressive thought arise, you immediately accept, recognizing or stating that, the feeling is temporary, but its nature is liberated. Nature is Dhammakaya. And then all those thought activities, when you recognize or you experience as Dhammakaya, and then all those activities become what we call Sambhogakaya, a clarity. It's no longer so aggressive. So my point is that, what is my point? My point is that don't be aggressive with thoughts. That's my point. Because acceptance is, very, very important. And once you use number one, breathing exercise meditation, and second is that using your own thoughts as a object of meditation. And sometimes, because when you begin to experience, there's a hope, the hope is, oh, I didn't think that, I thought, it's very dominating. The thoughts are very dominating. Anxiety is very dominating, but it's actually your friend, as long as you treat them as a friend. So when you accept them and also using Buddhist techniques such as thoughts are never was thought in their nature. Their nature is always inseparable from our own primordial wisdom. Of course, I will talk about that tomorrow about the basic goodness. And so when you begin to experience the liberation of your thoughts, and you'll be very hopeful. You begin to have confidence in your meditation. Otherwise, you're always looking for calmness. The moment you have some anxiety or thoughts arise, it's meant to reject. You always be very selective. I want to select something that I like. But in nature, if you simply accept whatever thought arise and recognize that the nature is always liberated, as as some of the Dzogchen teachings say, unborn. We basically create thoughts, but there never really was a thought at the beginning. Anxieties never was anxiety in their nature. So another word that we have to use that resources like breathing exercise. The breathing is with us all the time. There's no breath, we probably won't wear masks. No, sorry, I sometimes make a joke, it doesn't make much sense. So that can be a joke, sometimes. I make sound a lot of joke and people, in the retreat, I make joke and nobody laughs. That joke can, kind of push them away. It's like, oh, that's not so funny. That's not funny at all. I just crack down. I would just laugh so hard. And before I talk about the joke, moment I tell them, and then they just, I have to go now. So what I'm trying to say today is, number one is that, this is utmost important for me as someone that has a lot of, weakness and beginner, is that your day begin with, appreciation, gratitude. You really have, I'm able to breathe, I'm able to walk, I'm able to see, I have so many good things going on, and not starting your day with something to worry about. Because this is my own experience, is that if I manage to do that, which is can be hard, but it's all about how you shape your day. So if I manage to do that, and then I don't, things that I start to worry about, it's very flow, it's very flow. It's not something like you don't have to dominate. It comes with flow with your life. You kind of very enjoyable. And I always learn from people a lot. And the other day I was talking with some people, and at times like myself, and I'm in a bad mood or something, and meditation, I'm not experienced, practitioner, and not working very well. I just stand up and just get up and I clean. I just wash dishes. I just clean, and because it is said in Buddha's teaching that everything is your own mind. So when you begin to sweep the table and the clean, and it begins to affect your mind. Fold your clothes nicely and tidy, and it makes my wife happy too. Yeah. If she's not happy, and nobody happy. Yeah. So that's something I would like you to try. The day beginning with positive thoughts, and I know everybody's busy and everybody has so much thing to do, but if you manage to have some really good positive thoughts with you, or some calmness at the beginning of the day, that definitely affect your whole day. and while you're walking around, and things that really bothered before can be minor. And then the second is the breathing, cleansing your breath, right? We just did 3 times, exhale and inhale, and meditation. And then the third is that, acceptance. We just simply accept, thoughts comes, never think about, I have to empty my thoughts, and because the reality, there's nothing to empty about. And that's the delusion that we affect our our meditation. I really want to go somewhere to do meditation. I have to change my environment. I have to change my life. I want to change my. We're always looking for something new things instead of appreciating what you already have. And if you begin to manage it to, be with that thoughts, and appreciating that, these thoughts are in nature, they are already liberated. They are always a part of the primordial wisdom. And so there will be some confidence, because meditation is all about confidence. And once you begin to have some confidence, not just talking about, but also experience a little bit of calmness. It doesn't take that much effort. If you have a little, a glimpse of calmness or a liberation of thoughts, and then you feel, wow, this is very hopeful. So I guess I just simply see these three things, three elements, and if you have any questions, I will try to answer.
Thank you, Lama Karma. Appreciate it. I wonder if you can speak to, we get so busy in our lives. We have jobs, we have children, and sometimes it's just really hard to get to the cushion. And could you speak to that, and how we can have better discipline and make sure we get to the cushion?
That's a wonderful question, and I'm kind of facing the same situation. But I still think that it's up to individual how important it is. If you discover meditation is so important, and I don't believe that people don't have any time, and because sometimes we have so much time to go on news, right, on TV, and sometimes we purposely seem like run away from practice. Oh, I have something to do. Of course, you have always something to do, but I believe that even you have 5 minutes on cushion, if you have 10 minutes, which is, I really think you have 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Of course, some practice like Mundu practice, it takes like 20 minutes or like 30 minutes. It is so worth. It is so worth. And if we experience, I can't, practice very hard, and it is something, becomes a burden, which means we are not understanding about Dharma. Because when you begin to receive blessing and meditate and affect your your emotions, and you see the value, and so one of the definition of diligence, I wouldn't say one of, but diligence definition means delightful to practice. It's not because someone asked you to do or something like a requirement, but it's something so delightful. Tomorrow I talk about these three different parts of a healing practice, which means that in Buddhism talk about positive thoughts and negative thoughts. And positive means when you think about compassion, you think about devotion, and there's an immediate kind of a healing going on. So practice is all about healing, but if you feel it's so hard or something, and then it takes like a study, how we really you can ask a teacher, such. And then, of course, the most important part is the impermanence. Impermanence is a very special meditation. And when you begin to get angry or something, when you think about impermanence, it's oh, I can't waste my time. And yes, we can do that.
Lama Karma.
Yes, ma'am.
As you can see, there are many adults here who have an inner child. And there are individuals here who are actually parents.
Mhm.
And they may end up having young children. And could you provide at least somehow direction or steps that a parent may end up taking in order to get their child in order to participate in a meditation? I know children can be fussy and want to move around a lot, but I think it's an important step as far as knowing that they're learning how to live in the moment. And then I also have another question. All right. There are a number of individuals who are in the hospital and they're really suffering. And if I am a visitor, in what way can I deal with someone who is suffering and participate in their moments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Those are very good questions. And the first with children, I have a son who is, he will be in 3 in October. And it's you can't really communicate yet. But what I teach him is sometimes if you let his word go on and he just do all kind of like walking around, but I just distract him. What I would do is that of course I'm a Buddhist practitioner, and I just let him do prostration and I myself being a little child myself, so I just pretend doing. He's kind of everything's imitation, imitates, and so I let him have a like flower offer on shrine, and also like fill offering bowls and burning incense, and he himself learned that when you have a stick of incense, if he holds here, it's a little bit too close to the fire, so he goes like this. So now I kind of watch him, And, that kind of age, of course, it's very hard to teach meditation. And when sometimes I say, oh, I always talk him in Tibetan. So I just sit, close my eyes, and then he's, jump over on you. So secondly, if there's like a child is like adult, like 12 years old or something, and I don't really have much experience, but so you hold your hands together and just say, let's close our eyes and just meditate a little bit or something. But really, be honest with you, I can't answer very well on that because maybe Lama Kathy and Lama Adam, they may have more wisdom. And regard with someone is sick in the hospital and how you can kind of benefit, and it's also up to the individual. The individual is up to talk. Sometimes, you talk with her or him a lot. It's really they want to express. Sometimes, the hospital environment, they can't talk to, nursing is very busy and they need somebody to listen. So you just listen, talk. Meanwhile, and, Lama Kathy teaches the called tunneling practice. You simply send your love and, prayers through visualization of white light goes and interest into that person and dispel the sickness. And if you have more courage, you can simply, breathe in and some of the suffering. And we sometimes feel people's, sometimes if people are very angry or something, we could feel the vibration. So prayer is also like vibration, and they definitely, even they maybe don't notice, but definitely benefit. And of course, if the person is willing, then you can recite medicine with a mantra melodiously, sing mantras. So there will be, some soothing feeling through the like. So you can do that. And so I think that's what I can think of, so far.
Hi. Sorry,
Hi.
guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi.
My question actually relates to the climate challenges that we are experiencing now and the forecast of the climate challenges are going to get much worse, and our karma, actually. I too am a parent, and sometimes I reflect on the karma of being reborn and the possibility of living through not having an earth that is livable, or water shortages where water becomes a commodity. And I'd like you to address that. So as a collective whole, like my interpretation was that we basically all have this karma that kind of put us here to experience these climate challenges.
Thank you. According to Buddha's teaching, there's common karma, and then there's common karma means a collective karma. And then there's individual karma. And common karma means that, we all as a human being, born as a human being, and, animal realms, they're born as an animal realm. And we basically collectively created this world, we're born in this world. And so that's why, sometimes like when we see this natural disasters, climate change and the wars and all of this going on, and what Buddhism, Buddhists can do. And like your sons come up and said that even like there are four people are praying together with peace and praying the Sunday prayers, equally effective because this all these natural disasters, the climate, and also has to created by individuals. So prayer is very effective. And to answer your question, that is considered common karma. We collectively created, and because of this, in the 21st century, there's so much fire going on, and we might think, oh, environmentally, there's so much fire, etc. But also, it's really connected with a lot of anger. It's a burning kind of anger feeling, and so that's why this kind of environment, people come together. Think about compassion. It's like water, right? Compassion is like the moment if you experience a lot of anger, as resentment or like anxiety, and when you think about compassion exemplified as a water. So you immediately there's a kind of feeling of coolness, feeling of soothing, feeling of healing. So we can, of course, there's a lot of activity going on about climate, try to reduce what's the word, carbon. Yeah, and planting trees and flowers, but also equally, inward, let's say that is outwardly we're doing it, but also inwardly, prayers and more compassionate, right? So it's very important because sometimes we feel, well, this, there's so many people on the planet we can't affect, but if you influence one person about meditation or compassion, and that is actually begin to change so many lives. And we all go through a lot of difficulties, but when you begin to practice meditation or compassion, and you kind of sense so much help, and then you begin to relate that to your family or others as well. So it's a common karma, and then individual karma, and individually, like if one family has, like my family had 10 children, and we all are different lifestyle. So individually, some people, some of them doesn't have to put a lot of effort, but life goes well. And some people put so much effort, it doesn't go, like they wish to. So that is what we call individual karma. Excuse me. So karma can be purified in two ways. One is purification, as we say. Purification means the world is going through so many situations going on, and his sons come up and led this prayer, gatherings, and this definitely helped the common karma. And of course, that naturally also helps individual karma. And if karma is not purified, individual or common karma, unfortunately, that's what we are experiencing, this whole, the natural disasters, etc.
Hello.
Hello?
We have 18 people watching on Zoom too. So we have a question from Zoom.
Okay.
Someone asks, I think in this world, there are many people who understand things as being in the present as an immediate worldly satisfaction. But this person feels that they understand being in the present differently, and they're asking how they can deal with that.
Did I understand the question? I'm sorry, can you repeat one more time?
I'm not sure either. I asked for clarification.
if you're watching, Rosaire, if you could provide a little clarification, we would appreciate that. I think what it is they're saying that there are a lot of people who understand, maybe, I think if we're going to try to interpret, I would say sort of the modern mindfulness movement as being in the present as sort of a way to get worldly satisfaction, as opposed to the reason that we do it as Buddhists. So I guess maybe if you could comment on that difference.
I think if someone is not really a Buddhist and interested in meditation, and if they use this method as a presence of mind and bring some peace, and even though this person is not pursuing enlightenment, but that still helps, that still helps, even though the ambition, I mean, sometimes, of course, the authentic meditation is that when you be in meditation and sometimes you have enormous calmness and you feel so happy and so excited and so happy. So that means you are going beyond that real authentic meditation. The real authentic meditation of wisdom is not biased with whether it's enormous happiness or a lot of anxiety, because they understand that the authentic meditation, whether it's positive or negative, the nature is always same. It's organic, very neutral, and no bias. So but of course, like those individuals, like meditation is not designed for like particular religion. It's even like a normal conversation, we say just calm down, I mean, that's about meditation. So just calm down, right? So they kind of know that, if you calm down and then you become calm. Yeah. So and that's all I could do, to answer that question.
To respect everyone's time, we have time for one more question.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
So my question is I understand the benefits and the reasons why, and intellectually it makes total sense, but the motivation, like sometimes you just get swept up in everything that's going on and there's always a pile of things it's taking. And sometimes you just want to break, want to zone out and like do something else. What would you give as advice for motivation to actually stop and take some time to get back into focus and to meditate?
When I mentioned earlier that the first, when you get up in the morning, about appreciation, breathing exercise, and secondly, someone's come up and once mentioned that we are one of the 7 billion, I think more than 7 billion people, and we are responsible every action, every thought, and because life is very short, you kind of live moment by moment. So motivation comes from, I want to do something good, not only just for your family, but yourself, but also for the society. But in order to help them, you really put some effort. So sometimes even you can think of, sometimes we are very selfish and we are, we want to do something that we don't really care what's on the road. And I mean, what's in order to get what you want. So we sometimes don't see a lot of, you kind of knock, back, like left hand, left and right. So sometimes we just kind of step back, say, I'm really, I'm responsible. I could, one person, I mean, there are many individuals like could bring in like millions of people and peace and, compassionate. We are not different from that, So we have always have that kind of motivation. I want to do something good for the world. I want to be something helpful for the whole world. So something I can be more, helpful. Consider what's going on in the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's it. All right. So lastly, I would like to offer this merit for the long life of your sons, Kamapa, all the great masters, and I sincerely offer to my teacher, Kemburumbuche, and I also dedicate this to all sentient beings. May the world able to help each other or have peace, and may the wars diminish. All the natural disasters also transform into beautiful world. And I also dedicate that, those of us who practice meditation, compassion, become the inspiration of so many sentient beings. And so let's dedicate the merit. Meanwhile, our next couple of days, just the homework is to don't move until you have some inspiration, the positive thoughts of the day. Oh, I'm so happy, and so happy that I'm still breathing. I always like to give homework, and I do myself as well. I don't just say that, not always, but. And then second is, breathing exercise, and then third is, accept. If you have some anxiety, that's okay. You accept, but your mind's always perfect in nature, and so that's we are able to do those practices, and oh, 31, 31. Thank you, everybody. I can't believe that is my voice. So nice. The microphone. Wow.
Hello, hello. Good evening. Thank you, everyone. We will convene again tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the teaching. So thank you very much and drive safely tonight. And of course, now we have to wake up tomorrow morning with positive thoughts. Thank you, everyone.